Welcome to our weekly Forex and Gold forecast. My name is Jay Norris. I teach trading at Trading University. As always, we need to remind you trading involves risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. First market we're taking a look at is the Australian US dollar. There's the daily chart of the Aussie USD. We still think you have some upside, and we've been saying that for some time. We don't necessarily see the price action here as topping yet. We think well, you haven't seen climactic price action yet, which is what we teach in our own analysis. So we still think there's some more upside here. We think you probably have a shot at matching that fall 2013 high. So a little bit more upside. You know, it reminds me of the euro on the ride into that 139 handle, Aussie right now. Yeah, long term there may be more downside than upside, but currently the pattern you're looking at here of higher highs, higher lows on the way up, this bull move here is still intact. So until you see some kind of climactic price action at a defined level, the trend is up. So we're still banking on this bull pattern really that started in late January of 2014. We see that bull move as still being intact. We think you're going to get another leg up, and again a shot at the fall 2013 high there. So bull move still intact in the Aussie. Here's the dollar Swiss. We're pretty bulled up on this guy. You can see you're at resistance, and you know they continue to close above it. You closed just a hair above resistance on Friday. You're having no trouble in there today. If this resistance was going to hold, it would have held. You just keep chipping away at it. It's almost as though the bulls are just kind of toying with the bears, just kind of sucking the bears in here. We see this market on the verge of a big breakout. If you look at the weekly chart, you really see it there. You really get scale there, and we're bulled up here. We like the idea of buying dips for sure in the Swissy. The next market dollar index, you really see it. You really see the breakout. There it is. That's a weekly chart. Let me go back to a daily chart. And there you go. You had no trouble taking out that spring high. You had a couple closes above there. You're seeing more and more shallow price corrections, dips here. So we think you're on the verge of a pretty good sized breakout here in the dollar index. There you can see it pretty clearly. Let me put a trend line on there for you. So you're in a market now where this is a higher high, and it's showing up on the weekly too. So you have a higher high to that. So we think any dip going forward, you really need to monitor that for a buying opportunity. Look for that now. We look for, you have higher highs now, potentially we look for higher lows. But we'll see that it's tricky, because if you scrunch that chart up, you can see really where that market's come from, and a lot of upside here. I mean, a whole lot of upside. There it is. If you spread it out, you look at the 10-year bear market, well, 12, 13-year bear market actually, and you can imagine a breakout there. A lot of upside. I mean, a lot of upside. You only see that on a long-term chart. So 85, even 90 is not that far away on a weekly chart. You look at a daily chart, it's a different scale. You're like, oh, that'd be a massive rally. Well, yeah, it certainly would be a massive rally, relatively speaking. And we look forward to the possibility of a big move here too. But historically, you look at the weekly chart, it's doable. It's pretty darn doable. So we're pretty bulled up here. Any kind of dip, we look for that historic, any kind of a price dip, any kind of a correction lower, we look for a potential higher low to put in. And of course, the higher low following a higher high, that signals a bull move, right? That would signal this bear move is done. Now we're into a new bull phase. And we think we're pretty much there as it is. Next market would be the euro US dollar. And there's the euro. And here's what I was talking about in that Aussie. It took the euro a long time to top out. And that's why, as traders, our number one goal is to be patient and be disciplined. And without one, the other is not going to help. You have to be both. But really, patience is huge in this game. You had to wait patiently for that euro to top out, and we think it has topped out now. Here's this is a lower low to that low. Again, any kind of rally here, we'd look for a historic sell setup. We would look for the first lower high, and that again would signal a shift from a bull move to a bear move. But we think we're there now. We think you're into a bear move here historically. When we show you the long term, boy, there's a lot of room below you have to, I'll show it to you in the future so you can see it a little better. Historically, where that market's been, there you go. A test of 120 doesn't seem at all out of the cards. That would be a massive move, even a move on 110, just a 50% retracement of that massive rally that we saw in the previous decade. You get a 50% rally, that takes you down below 120 towards the 110 handle. Massive move in today's terms, but historically it wouldn't be that big of a deal, really. I mean, that's what markets do. So we think there's a ton of room below on the downside, and we think patience in waiting for this to turn bearish is really going to pay off. For the most part, trading is good analysis, and a good analyst is patient. So you're not looking to do a lot until you get that, until everything sets up for you, and I think everything is setting up for us right now on the short side in the euro. There's back to the cash chart. That'd be a little bit more familiar to you. So any kind of rally here, we would welcome a rally, by the way, because that's an opportunity to set up some positions. But we love day trading this guy from the short side too. Swing trading, short-term trading from the short side. It's all good. Next market, gold. We didn't like gold, and sure enough, it broke down pretty good. We see any rally in the gold is an opportunity to tee off on the downside in it. I would like gold if you can got it between 1200 and 1180. Get it down there historically. Give me a double bottom. Let me see that the support held here. See how you had the double bottom, the support held. Then you had a pretty good rally. But you know what? It's still, this is historically, that's a lower high to that lower high to this lower high, etc. So the pattern is bearish here. We think you'll test 1200 in the gold, and that would align itself nicely with the bull move in the dollar. Last market we're going to take a look at, dollar yen. Here's what I'm looking at. Big support, and we've been saying this for a while now, that you have this big buy zone here created by the 50% retracement and the 618 retracement, the Fibonacci number. So big support right at that 50%, and we just don't see the market going below 101. And if it did, if we like it at 101, we love it at par, right? You get down around that 618. But I'm looking at a smaller formation here on the 4-hour chart. You could see that same formation that held on the daily chart potentially could hold on the 4-hour chart. So I like I like buying dips here. I mean, if you get another opportunity to get it down around 101.60, I think you look for buy signals. So we like buy signals in the dollar yen down there. Again, I'm buying dips in the dollar, and I think that's going to be the theme going forward. Hey, great to see you guys. Here I'm going to leave you with a message here. And this quote is, I think it's so apropos for us as short-term traders. Once you realize there's nothing to do over 80% of the time, okay, you're patient, you're waiting. Once you realize that, then you're ready to move from an analyst to a trader. I think the markets we're in right now is you're very close, if not you're in that time zone when you can act, you can start being more aggressive trading vis-a-vis buying dips in the dollar, selling rallies in the euro. We'll see how it all plays out, and we'll see you again next week. Thank you so much. Again, my name is Jay Norris, and I teach trading at Trading University. See you next time.